So, my name is McCarthy. I'm a small gas company called MMC Surveyors. What I'll be talking about is basically our experience through what we're doing and what we're seeing in the marketplace. And our journey over the last, I suppose, 14 years. So, it's a very broad topic in terms of modernising financial protection, because the action is probably notoriously conservative. So it's trying to push those boundaries, and it's been part of our mission vision statement since we started to be at to change as much as possible, within what we do as a small company. So we have specialisms in life cycle costing, life cycle assessment. We've been using BIM for content takeoff for over 10 years. We also have a specialism in modern methods of construction. There's no correlate, there's no the MMC countries varies in the MMC of modern methods of construction is very coincidence, in case anyone is wondering. And last year as well, I was nominated to the ICMS 3 committee by the SESI, and we undertook a major report on the circular economy for the Department of Environment. I was nominated to the construction sector group by the SESI. The construction sector group normally advises the Department of Public Expenditure and Reform, but responded to DIT for this purpose, and that is a major report that is with DIT at the moment. It's due to be launched next month. So that was a very informative process that we got from. So in terms of just building on what Leah has said in the previous talk, embodied carbon and CitA are really they're really going to be central to building going forward. In terms of the global crisis that is climate. Buildings cannot contribute a huge amount to 39% of all carbon emissions globally. Embodied emissions account for 11%, but in Ireland, because of high levels of concrete and low levels of timber being used, it's embodied carbon slot at 14%. So in 2021, there was the climate action or carbon development bill, which mandated 51% reduction by 2050, and there's sector budget St. There's sector budget St. Attributed to all the sectors. So buildings have to reduce emissions by 45 megatons, but if we reduce the embodied carbon of 65%, we beat that budget in terms of the 5.5 megatons reduction, gives 65% embodied carbon reduction. So embodied carbon is probably the least contentious of all carbon reductions, also the least costly, and it can be done immediately. So it's immediate effects. So it should be a high priority for all sectors. So the REA targets for 2030 and a 70% reduction in embodied carbon from domestic buildings and 55% reduction in commercial buildings. And there's quite a strong reporting framework in terms of assessing and reporting LCA. So the veracity and certainty of the number is very important, because if you're promising to not do something, which is regardless of this, it's a difficult one to prove. So the quality of the calculation, the numbers are doing extremely important. You're not going to prove it. So there's a very defined process between European standards, standards for EPD, the industry guidance, the RICS are leading the way in this in terms of the methods of calculation. It's important that everyone is using the same methods throughout, otherwise we're going to get extremely different results. Basically, our non-governmental public organisation in London, but they've they really produce great the tools to help this process. And then there's at an EU level then as well, there's the EU level shorter format. So I think these all things that say QS and industry generally needs to be aware of. So in terms of those getting to those targets, then there's a lot of work being done by say REBA and let's say in terms of setting up what is needed in terms of setting up the reductions required to achieve various standards and tools available for that. And as you mentioned earlier, in terms of the body impact stages, A1 to A3, they're in red, account for anything between 60 and 80% upfront in body carbon. And that's where we focus on. And getting early stage options is incredibly important, and making those key decisions early on is vital. And the main program for doing that we found is monthly classing, looked at everything available. And for monthly classing, we found was the most comprehensive software. Lots of third-party verifications. It's most of the global and local database. So we've optimized our software to be able to the internet, because it is incredibly intensive. So we can take build quantities, our cost estimate, and optimize it for putting the multi-classic and really reduce that workload. So so in terms of that, yeah. So we go back to so we've got the impact stages there. At the end there is D, that's the start of the economy. So that's going to be much more important going forward, particularly when the start of the economy report comes out. That's going to have big impact on the sector. So awareness of that is going to be important. So the start of the economy, currently linear economy from take, make, waste, and dispose. So in the linear economy, where you start the economy at the waste stage, you take that and make new products out of it, and you continue the cycle. So that's at a high level. That's then you can look concept about how to do that then across all of industry in terms of product building, how design things, how everything changed fundamentally, and that's also kind of in the EU levels, very circularity is very strong here. So we see a lot of state bodies starting to take up the EU levels in terms of their sustainability framework. If you look at what with GGDA, and they adopted the EU level of fair guiding principle, it's all there. We've got CA, we've got circularity, we've got website costing, as well as the items around health and company spaces adaptation on resilience. So in terms of at government policy level as well, we've got ICNS3, that's the international cost management standard, has come to be. This is a pretty big departure from QS to managed projects. The national standard of building elements gone. So that's when we're connected now. That's been on since 1970. And that's now that's gone. It incorporates LCA and life cycle costing. So you're reporting cost carbon and life cycle cost in the addresses building civil engineering. So the 19 different project types in ICMS3, of which is one are buildings, and there are 18 different civil engineering project types. So that's the first time that's happened. And since the 1st of January this year, ICMS3 has been mandated for use by the Office of Government Procurement. So requires LCA and cost to be reported alongside life cycle cost, and it's been adopted by I think it's 80 countries signed up to it. And the reason being is that comparisons of different building types across regions can be assessed on an equal basis. So if you using the same parameters. And so the major shift for the OGP as well, as moving from a project life cycle, only concerned about completion to practical completion, or some commitment to practical completion. Now they're concerned about the life cycle cost over 50-year period. So in terms of how this works, what it covers, it's end to end. So the handiest we've got is the acting speak called acquisition, construction, renewal, operation, maintenance, things like it. And it might be said in there at the end of that covers a certain economy. So and it allows us then to look at different procurement routes. So we're looking at building just building on state land, or they can buy a project in Israel. So you can compare and contrast on that basis then and report carbon and life cycle costs associated with that. So in terms of life cycle costs, and then so this is an example of something we did for the project in the UK, which is this is a difficult this is a 3-bed single detached modular house, Midlands UK. So the period in the UK is 6 years. And we looked at different sensitivities on that result. And just an example here, we found that there was only 3 years to build was in one equivalent. And what we found was that, well, 10,000 investment, 10,000 additional costs we got from H2 to A1 resulted in between 80,000 and 200,000 saving over the life of the building, depending on the energy inflation rate. So, but very, very significant. And those sort of decisions are going to have a bigger impact on government investment decisions going forward. So in terms of them, what we've been involved in them for property takeoff for over 10 years. I have a short video here that I'm playing current to the skip levels, and if you've seen it all before, but we've integrated with we use Toxnex when we have optimal Toxnex and for the property takeoff, and it is it's very consistent for us as invitations. So again, you can take countries off of all everything's pretty much instantaneously, so we can reduce the time period for a couple of weeks down to a couple of days. Using this, it integrates with our estimating system pretty seamlessly. So again, those other relevant points together. And it's hard to do that in conjunction with the method of measurements, because your BIM models can give you the object properties and quantities, but it's bringing that into aligning that with information rules is the interface where you can so, but we found that BIM isn't kind of CitA either from our point of view. We find we basically get quite a lot of issues with all of the models. The models might be useful for quantum takeoff. A fully development model comes late in the process, but what is very beneficial for taking off the accused for tender for tender VOQs, there could be a component missing. So it relies on us then to kind of like interrogate what's missing. And, a lot of the value we bring is at the very early stage, the stage one plus plan. So there's really never a model bit at that stage for the past 12 years. So, and today, although the has correct, has shown the error of the ways there. We found it hasn't been useful for developing at stage. So very excited to see this. Yeah, use representation there. We've been involved in modular construction. I've been involved in modular construction for almost 20 years. With the previous, previous company before starting in MMC, and there's quite a lot of, I'd say, knowledge to that particular sector as well. That's both specific. The MMC can certainly help with multiple prices of labor productivity, skills, and the housing prices. If those manufacturing processes can be applied to automated construction and industrialized construction, say this is photos of two different board plants 100 years apart, and we're basically the same overall process. What usually happens is that in the industry, there isn't really an industrialized component there. So again, we have a lot of experience from what we're companies in the UK, companies here, in terms of automatic construction and modular and panels. In summary, GIS profession is changing extremely rapidly, and education needs to keep pace with that. Different point is largely have some knowledge and experience in the areas where we're working in terms of LCA, like such approximately automatic construction. And so the massive upskilling required. LCAs have been mandated in the 1st of January this year. We find that that's not happening. There's on the client side, clients are just getting their heads around it at the moment, and we find we're advising some clients on how best to go about that. So even up people like keep them up with the industry, with the professionals, the carbon literate, sustainability aware, they need to know about certain economies, the new ways of reporting, now CMS3, new ways of building on all the new technologies and stuff. So that's there's a lot has happened in a short space of time in the industry that needs to catch up. And that's where lifestyle, CitA energy, we claim good track. So that's my presentation in brief, and thank you very much.
Thank you much.